on your left. Hey everybody, just out doing another ride this weekend, and wanted to do a quick video about some of the damage that had happened to the bike upon receipt as far as the shipping damage is concerned. So just wanted to kind of walk you through what I've experienced and kind of what I've done to fix whatever's been an issue with this bike. But before I get into that, I wanted to preface this by saying everything you're about to see here is not the fault of Wired. This is actually the fault of the shipping company, and I think it was UPS that delivered these bikes. So it's a fairly common thing that these bikes arrive damaged from the shipping. And as a result of that damage, Wired has tried to do all kinds of different things, like double boxing it, putting more foam padding in it, all that good stuff, to the point where they've even put a picture of a TV on the outside of the box to kind of trick the shipping companies into thinking that it is sensitive electronics and maybe they'll handle it a little bit better. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case. So just wanted to let you guys know this is not Wired's fault. This is really the shipping company. But none of what's happened to this bike has really made it unrideable. So just want to kind of walk you through some of the things that I've experienced. First things first, the rack. So if you guys probably heard me talk about this in my previous videos, when I received this bike, there's actually 2 little silver brackets on the rack that you're supposed to take off, apparently. And unfortunately on this side, this screw, because of the damage to the right side of the bike, got bent and jammed up in there. So I can't actually use my rack until I get this cut off, drilled out, and retapped, which again doesn't impact the rideability of the bike. It's just kind of annoying that I can't use the rack until I get that sorted. So that's on me to get that done. Fortunately, Wired is very accommodating. So their customer support said, hey, whatever cost is involved in getting this thing retapped, send them a picture of the invoice and they'll credit me. So they'll take care of that, which is nice. Second thing I had was I wasn't able to get my gearing to get out of 5th gear. Like I couldn't go all the way down to gear 7 on this thing because it would stop at gear 5. And when I talked to customer support, they basically said, well, the derailleur has probably been pushed in a little too far and because of the damage from shipping. So they had me bend this out by hand just a little bit far enough out. And I also loosened this screw here to get the derailleur to come out. And now it shifts gears just fine. So it goes all the way down to gear 7 and back up to gear 1 without any issues. And it's been that way for quite a while. So really nice to get that sorted out without having to do too much in the way of mechanical stuff. And then the final thing, and this is really not a shipping issue, it's just something that apparently is common with these bikes. If you guys watch my last video, you'll know that I was having an issue with the controller just randomly shutting off during the trip. Well, it turns out it looks like where the battery connects in on each side is a little tight. And so it was creating a situation where the connector wasn't fully seated. So when I reached out to support, they basically suggested just taking a flathead screwdriver and a hammer and tapping it up and tapping without the battery on it, but tapping the attachment point to the batteries up and down, which gives it a little bit more room. And that seems to have solved the issue, at least at the moment. I haven't seen anything shut off on me, but time will tell if I did it well enough that this won't be an issue anymore. But so those are really the things that I've experienced from a damage perspective. Again, that was purely the shipping company's fault, had nothing to do with Wired. And while we're on the topic of that, I did want to point out that the customer service from Wired has been excellent. I've never had an issue where I've reached out to them and then had to wait for a response. These guys are extremely quick about getting back to you. They have a really interesting chat system in their website. So you just basically tell them what's going on. They'll get back with you. They'll give you a phone call. They'll actually walk you through what you need to do to sort this out. So what's interesting is that Steve, who's actually the owner of the company, is one of the guys that handles support. So every time I've had any issues with it, he's the one I've been talking to. So it's pretty awesome to know that somebody that high up in the food chain is actually out there looking out for your best interests. And he understands the investment that we're making in these bikes. That's not lost on him. And as a result of that investment, he understands that, hey, customer support is everything. So if you're looking for a company that really knows how to take care of their people, Wired is the way to go. Again, other than the little shipping damage issues, I've not had any other real major issues with this bike since I've had it. And I haven't been gentle with it. And this isn't the kind of bike that I've been, as you guys have seen in my previous videos, I take this out on some pretty heavy duty trails as well as road trips, and it's held up under all those conditions. So I'm one of those guys that if I buy something, I want to put it to use. If I'm worried about it breaking in the field, then I don't want to buy it. And this bike has really been a rugged example of what you should expect. This thing has been taking a beating and has kept going. So hopefully this has been useful to everybody out there. I know you've been waiting for a video to me talk about the damage and the derailleur and kind of what had to happen to make that work again. So if you're experiencing any of these issues, now you'll kind of have an idea of what to do to solve it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks, everybody.